Hello, my beautiful friends. Thank you so much for tuning in with me. Today, I want to talk about stage fright, and I definitely have experience with this. So, I'm going to go over how it began, how it affected me, how I got through it, and two major superstars that inspired me during this time of major stage fright. My intention today is to help you or anybody you know that might have stage fright and just kind of offer my techniques and my insight into how I got through it and how I actively use my techniques up until today. So just around general public speaking, right? General appearances. So growing up in theater and doing shows, singing all the time through school, performing professionally with big bands and doing cover songs, I didn't know that I had stage fright. I was super confident. I knew what I had to do, and I just stepped onto the stage and sang my heart out, right? And that was pretty easy for me. And it wasn't until about 3 to 4 years ago when I figured out that actually I have severe stage fright, which could be surprising to some of you. But I know that it's something I've worked on and I've gotten a lot better at. 3 years ago, I did one of my first acoustic performances during the Montauk Music Festival. And it was the first time I debuted my original songs. And I remember my producer looking over at me and being like, "Are you okay? Because you look like you just saw a ghost. And are you sure you're gonna get through this and you can perform right now?" And in that moment, I remember I took maybe a few minutes to just hide away and step away and recalibrate or vomit or something and just get it out of my system and come back and do the show. And during that show, my whole body was shaking. I was completely anxious and nervous about the whole thing. And it was very funny because I did a great job and, everybody, it was in a restaurant, everybody was eating, having a wonderful time. The vibes were great. And all the while I was literally shaking. So you might be thinking to yourself, you might be thinking right now, why? Why did this just happen? How did this occur? Why did this happen out of nowhere? And what kind of triggered that to happen? So during this whole time in the pandemic, I was able to have a lot of time to myself and just reflect and go inward and meditate on certain things. And as I cultivated that practice, recently, just up to a few hours ago, I was in meditation and I thought to myself, you know what? I want to talk about stage fright because it's a real thing. And I think I figured out what triggered it. I think I figured out through meditation why this happened to me. And so before I get into why this happened and my techniques, I just want to go over some logistics and remind you guys that I'm new to the live thing and YouTube. So this is a super empowering platform where I hope to share all of my experiences with you. And if you like this video, please comment, click the like button, share it with somebody that you think might have an issue with public appearances or stage fright. And you can also subscribe to my channel. When you do so, you can click that bell button and you'll be able to get all of the notifications for my future videos and live performances, which I cannot wait to share with you guys. So anyhow, I want to get into why I think this happened to me. I was used to playing a role. I was used to stepping on stage and playing a character, singing someone else's songs, being with a large group of people, and it was an amazing experience. I loved every minute of it, but I was used to playing a part, right? So that I was very comfortable and confident doing. When it came time to start and dig deep and write my own songs and have my own voice and find my identity, I was very comfortable doing that in the studio. And in that setting, I was hidden. I was in my own booth. I was comfortable in my own zone and my own vibes. And obviously, I can stop and re-record. So that was very comforting to me as well. When it came time to sing my own songs and step into my full, authentic, wonderful self, it was nerve-wracking. And I didn't know that it was going to be that way until I had to do it. And that was super surprising to me. So the trigger here was that I had to be myself. And I know it sounds crazy, but it really was scary, because stage fright is basically worry and, hoping for approval and all of these things. And one thing I also want to point out is that it wasn't just those things that could sound negative, like anxiety, wanting approval, or thinking that people are going to throw tomatoes at you or comment something nasty. Those things are always going to happen, right? So for me, I like to think of it as a way to strengthen myself and to stand even more firm in my true self and in my alignment. So that took some effort and some techniques. And nobody knew I was battling this before I went on stage. It was just something that I had to face. So having to stand alone as my authentic self and just kind of shed those layers and be comfortable in my own skin. Some of the techniques, even for today's video, I have my notes here. I have my selenite. And yes, I do love crystals and gems and meditation and all of those things. It really does help me balance myself and center myself. So one of the few techniques that I have here is body tapping. Before I would go on to stage, I kind of felt like I was leaving my body. Some of you might know what that feels like. If you don't, it's just like a major disconnection from where you are. And so I would body tap. So it looks like this. And I would do that probably 10 times until I felt like I re-entered and I was more centered and calm in my own body. So that is definitely something that I had to start doing backstage. The other thing that I had to start doing was just singing to myself, because that is a technique that really does calm me down when I get anxious, is just singing, which is super healing, obviously. And I know it may sound funny because it's like I'm singing to myself to be calm about singing to other people, but it really does work, and it helps. It helps realign and reassure and help me speak more confidently through my throat chakra. One of the physical techniques that you can also apply, which I do frequently, is just exercise, and more specifically, ab work. So strengthening your abs basically is strengthening your solar plexus. And if you know about chakras, then you know that the solar plexus is directly related to your confidence. It's where we get our sense of self. It's where we get our identities. It's where we get our confidence, and that can affect how we think. So strengthening your abs and doing that core work will not only get you, a banging body, but will help you be more confident in yourself when you have to speak or when you have to show up publicly. And also, an outline, a list. This is what I did today. I took my notes. I was in meditation, sort of just channeling what I wanted to talk about and just jotting it down really quickly and just referring back to it. There's nothing wrong with that. And I do that on stage too. So, before I go out on stage, we have a set list, and I have my points on things that I really feel are important about the song, things that I really need to remember around the story, and things that I just really want to talk about. And then I kind of improvise in between. So that helps me feel more comfortable about improvising. So I hope that helps you. So the thing that I want to say last is 2 fun facts about artists that super inspired me during this time of stage fright. Barbra Streisand and Queen Bee, Beyonce. So I don't know if any of you know this, but Barbra Streisand, she's like one of the all-time best-selling female artists, singers, there is. And she has crippling stage fright. And she's even spoken about this in interviews. And she took a really long break and she wouldn't sing on stage for years. And then when she did her tour in Brooklyn, she finally hit the stage and just broke through it. And that's really surprising, right? Because she is such an amazing vocalist and songwriter. And she has fans that adore her and just love her music, yet she has this crippling stage fright. So listening to her interviews and like watching her sing is like, it was inspiring to me. It's like, okay, I can do this too. I know it seems dramatic, but it's real. And obviously Queen Bee, Beyonce, has her alter ego, Sasha Fierce, which helped her step into her power and helped her just hone in on her essence and her warrior spirit. And that was super inspiring to me too. Although I have not tried the alter ego thing yet. I might think about it. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that this video and this content resonates with you. Like I said, if you know anyone that has this stage fright, share this video, comment, let them know about it. Maybe the things that I suggested would help them, because it helps me too. And maybe they won't feel so alone about it, right? Again, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm super grateful for any way that you feel called to support me. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next week. And I look forward to making more content for you. See you later.